Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. It has been 24 hours since we painted this. It's the next morning. What have we got here? 5:50. The coffee is already flowing, and we're about ready to start into this one more time. Actually, just as I was having a sip, I'm thinking one more time. No, that's not right. Yeah, we are about to start this morning and continue on. Now, yesterday, I was mixing up the paints, these three just here, and I got to tell you, I'm looking at the M1, which is for the bow of the ship, the dark blue. The problem is, it's almost like a black. If I can pick these up, there's our dark grey. It's not bad. There's our blue, and there's our dark blue on the toothpicks. I'm going to opt for something else. I just think there's a fair bit going on the nose, and I just think that's closer to black than it is more blue. And I just don't know if they're going to go together. I was happy with the illustration on the belief that it was slightly darker than this one here. And to be honest with you, when we seen this underneath, I was happy with it being this colour. But the problem is, you see the colour there, and then I'll change quickly to the inside. There is the colour there. Yeah, it's miles apart. I'm also going to go back and have a look at that picture that we seen from that video that I was watching about the Bismarck and the hood. It had a picture of this ship in there, because I don't really believe it was that dark. And I don't really know. Look, this is a nice blue on here, but I'm more worried about in the dark, it's going to look like black, and I don't want black on the ship. I mean, we've got a black line already. I just wanted a bit more of a definition between the black line and this. If I get the black out, well, there is our black and there is our blue. Some would argue, no, John, they are different. And look, they are different. I'm just worried about it being a little too dark. These colours seem to lay out exactly the way they are on the lids, almost, if not even a little darker. So, yeah, I don't really know what to do here. My instinct says go back and get a lighter colour. I don't know what you guys think. Stay with what it says on the drawing. Don't stay with it. Anyway, I am going to go back down to the hobby store and just have a look and see what other options I have there. Okay, you might be asking yourself, why are we speaking about this colour? Well, I was looking at it the other day, thinking, and I was trying to work out which way to do this camouflage, and I do believe that that colour should be the next colour. Even though this one here is supposed to be the last colour, or supposed to be darker according to the plans. Let's get the plans in and have a quick look. So there is the plans. So we're talking about the bow of the ship, the front of the ship. That colour is supposed to be lighter than this colour, and it's just not that way. I'm very happy with the white, or the light grey as I've been calling it, the white I've been calling it. The blue, the light blue, it's a very nice colour, that blue. Happy even with this colour, although I would probably say it's not dark enough, but this is too dark. This is, yeah, it's just way too dark. I kind of like the way the ship sort of sits in this, and if I put that on, that is almost like a dark navy blue compared to what's here. I even considered getting some of the leftover white and putting a few drops of this colour in, where I'm getting the colour, but I'm darkening it to this one here, and I still may do that. But I will go down to the hobby store to get something just like this. I do understand with these colour paints, or this style of paints, Mr. Hobby, I believe it is, what you see on the lid is what you get. So I'm going to be looking for something like this. Got a kind of a grey tone to it. Kind of dark, but kind of not dark. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Sorry, I wasn't watching the screen there. So what's next on this ship? Well, we've done our white, or our light. We've done our blue. Now it's time to do the next colour. Let's just close that off because we've still got one more thing to do here. So we left like a 4mm strip here. And I think what we're going to do now is work out what to keep of this blue line. And I think we're going to work out the grey sticker. So when we put the grey sticker on, it'll just leave the bow. And then afterwards we can cover that colour up and put the last colour. And why have I done it this way? Mostly because if I get my little pointer out, there was a very fine line to keep here. It was very straight and it sort of came across and kind of snapped off dead straight here. We can mimic that with a piece of tape, that exact line, and it is blue that we need to keep. So whatever's left just gets painted. So I've got you zoomed in a long way there. There is that line I was telling you about, and that's the light blue underneath. And that little strip of blue there, that is the bow colour coming through. It does have a slight dip at the very end, just here. I'm not going to worry about that too much. It's so small that if we just do a straight line, straight across, that should be enough to keep that. And that's exactly what I think we're going to do. So there it is on another view, sort of just zoomed out. So anywhere near the front here, it actually looks like it's dead in level with where, on the ship, it's got a part here that sort of comes out. And it does, it looks dead level with that, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go with that. So there is the ship. Let's zoom in very quickly. That's that line I was telling you about just there. So if we go somewhere just there, and then go straight across, we should be able to keep that blue line, no problem, and whatever's left will be exposed with the next colour. I was kind of thinking to myself, even after I cover this up, do I then do the grey? Because then whatever I cover up with the grey, we just leave whatever else is left to paint. And I was seriously contemplating that in the last few minutes. This section of the ship has been a little difficult to do. And I'm still thinking about which way to go. So I'll take a few minutes and have a good think about this. Yeah, I had a really good think about it. We're gonna use that tape to cover that up, and then pretty much put the next color on. Obviously, we will have to cover this one up, the blue that we want to keep. If we put the next color on, and then all we need to do is then sticker off what we want to keep of the nose, and then that'll just leave the grey left. And I think that's, oh no, there is some grey on this. But let's tackle this one colour and start to put the sticker on. So I'm just using a clamp now to keep the ship kind of weighted on one side. Is there another one I can grab a hold of to grab there? No, I can't grab there. I would prefer the ship not to be rocking around, so let's support the other end. Okay, the ship is nicely supported now, so no matter what I do, it's not going to really bounce around much. I've got another piece of tape here. Here it is. It's nice and straight. And pretty much all we need to do is put it on to cover up what you want to keep for that line. Now remember, we wanted to keep about half. So if we go in line with that top line there and the front nose, about, it is only a small strip of blue that's left, about there. Yeah, that will achieve exactly what we wanted. So whatever's underneath the tape now is going to stay. Whatever's left will be exposed with the next color here, and that will work just nicely, and that'll give us a now straight line for that too. So yeah, pretty happy with that. See if we can get this end down nicely. We don't really want this coming up, we want a nice sharp edge. So happy with that. We're going to cover this one up as well. Actually, we've got to cover all of this because there is a dark greys coming afterwards. So just for the time being, let's cover all this as well. There is our tape. Actually, that's not going to work like that because we need some of this exposed. So we need a slightly smaller piece. Okay, so we've got to try and cover up that sticker but leave the blue through here. And that sticker does go up to the top barely, so we don't want to be covering that. Somewhere right about there is what we're after. And again, you can just fold that over if you like. So that keeps the blue. That keeps the blue this side. We've got to keep the blue just here. Let's cover that too. Just for the moment. Let's cover that like that. So no overspray gets it. That's too long, that piece. Let's chop him off. Somewhere around about there. Yep, that'll work. So what we have left here, I'll zoom in. So what we have left is a very fine line that is exposed to be painted in the front bow colour. And yeah, that's going to cause me a little bit of an issue there. I'm just going to have to make sure that's stuck down when I do the painting. It will re-stick, but yeah, it's under a lot of pressure because of that nub there. And of course, I just got to make sure it's down. And then that cuts it off nicely. Could have cut a bit more off that corner if I wanted to, and I still can. I can just peel it up, cut it off. I'm pretty happy with just like that. And obviously we'll paint I'll just zoom out. We'll paint this colour now, the bow colour. We'll paint all of this through, and even though this has got to be a different colour, what we'll do then is we'll mark off what we want to keep, which will be another tape through here. And I believe that colour sort of comes up this way and around like this, and that'll be the dark grey, and that'll be our last colour. So we're pretty much right now with stickering this. If you're just going to paint the one colour here, then all you need to do, the next sticker is only to keep what you want. So then, yeah, there's not much more to do on this side of the ship. Let's have a look at the other side. So just before we do, there's the ship ready for its next colour, and you can see there's lots of tape all over the ship, and this is generally what happens when you do with camouflage. Little bit by bit, we're just going through each colour, keeping them, exposing them one by one. I'm not worried about the back of this ship. It is quite a distance away from the front, so is there going to be any overspray? No. Anyway, let's turn it around. Well, there is the port side of the ship. Now, the only thing we have to do on this side is we have to cover the blue, and then we have to expose the sticker that we have up the front here. So let's do that as well. Let's cover all this grey. Sorry, it's not grey. This is the light blue. Sorry about that. We have to cover the light blue, so that when we paint this, we don't get any overspray here. So let's do that as our first job. Again, I'm just going to use the clamp just to weight it down, just to make it a bit easier. Let's get some tape, rough size here. Just before I cover that up, we do have an exposed cutout here with some tape on it, which we will take out next time for the last paint. So we kind of want this sticker to cover this, but not really cover this. if I zoom in, oops, that's what I'm talking about there. So I need this covered. Oh, I want to mark the ship. I need this covered, but I want to be able to take this up afterwards and paint it. Got my tape. It doesn't have to be too Pacific. I always get told off for that. One is the ocean and one isn't. So just covering that up. And again, we just want to keep the blue well protected. There's still enough there to take that sticker off when we need to. Let's run that back. And some of that sticker will have to come back up later, but that is the blue now protected. And even though it looks like there's some blue coming through here, there's only tape there. So pretty happy with that. Let's make sure there's no leaks there as well. Especially when you're painting so close to another colour. So now we've got to take this one off. Let's take that off slowly. Got the tweezers out. Let's take that off. Peeling upwards. I had that piece on there because there was some exposed colour here. Let's take that one off as well. Let's do it from this side. We also get to see how hardy is our paint with our sticker. Pretty good. Now, this is where we're going to be a little careful. It just started to peel the sticker off. We don't want that. We just want this covering one taken off. Yeah, just like that. And there we have our sticker already exposed. Let's put that one back down. So that is our blue for our bow already done. We're ready to go now for our next colour. Because the parts that we need painted are now exposed. That does look very good, that. There's a little bit of the white, so a bit of the light grey came off the white sticker. That's all. There's the white sticker there hanging out. And of course, that's going to be a bit of an issue just there too. I'm just going to have to make sure when I actually paint that is finally down. It does, it just takes a few minutes to muck around with them. I did just peel that sticker up then by mistake, but that's ready to go, just like that. And what set the ship up was really that the main sticker we did, I know we spent a couple of days doing it, but it set up the camouflage for the entire ship. Well, here we are outside the front of the hobby shop once again. Let's go inside and have a look. Now we're in the store. Let's have a bit of a look at these colours. That's the original colour there, and this is kind of like what I'm going for, something like this here out of these two. What else is there? There is this colour here. It's not bad. It did look a little bit too purple underneath. Now I did bring the ship in with me just so I could kind of match the colours up, and I do think it's either one of these two. That's too grey. Yeah, that's definitely too grey. This one here, look at the lid, it's not a bad colour, even though the underside is not probably correct. Yeah, there we go. It's not bad. Looks like it kind of matches. Let's have another look. What else is possibly there? There's the two together. That was the original one that we picked. What else is here? Let's have a bit of a look. Not really much else there. That's too light. Let's have a look here. It's too dark, too grey. That's more grey down the bottom there. It's sort of moving away from the blue. Yeah, not much up that way either. What else? Let's get this one back out, have another look. I think that's our guy. It looks nice. It's kind of pastel like the rest of them anyway. The paints are just like the lid, and I think that's the one. Okay, we're back from the hobby shop. There's the colours. So let me just explain this. That was the original colours that the illustration said to use with the correct grey, the 333. So my opinion is, I think the grey is a little light, but that is way too dark. Now, these colours are more like the lids than they aren't. So I decided to go to the hobby shop, as you've seen, and get something that is kind of like fitting to what the ship is. So if I bring the plan back, let's put the plan over the top. There's the plan over the top. Let's move these two around because that's the one I'm going to replace it with. I actually think that's a pretty good match. And I do believe that one there, our original one, is too dark. So let's remove that one just to the side. Yeah, I think I'm going to be much happier with that. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, John, what did you pick? What did you pick? I picked, what is that, 366? Hang on. So I'm sure you could hear the hesitation just there. I'm like, hang on, 366. Yeah, this was 326. I knew this was very similar. Yeah, so I'm going to not go with what they reckon, 326. I'm just double checking it. It is definitely what they say, but no. Now, of course, I'm hoping that the colour is more like the lids. I'm very happy with these colours so far, and I really do think that those two, I probably could have gone slightly darker with this one as well, could have matched. But I'm going to stick with this one because it is very pastel-y, and I do find these colours quite pastel in themselves anyway, the way they're sort of coming out. They're not really bold colours, they're not wishy-wash, they're just sort of, well, like I said, pastel-y. So that's what I picked anyway. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention on this episode, I was re-watching this episode to put the dub over on when we went to the hobby shop. And when I was watching the dub over, I actually did spot a mistake. So on the plans, I was talking about that sticker coming out. Now, I placed it. I probably should finish saying what I'm saying first. Hang on. Sorry about that. I received a phone call just as I started to do some filming here. Now, originally there was two bumps in the ship. There was one here and one here. I've made a mistake because I put the sticker on the first bump. But when you go back to the actual plan, it is actually right here. There's a bump. There's a clear bump in the plastic here. And it does have a little piece missing out of it. So that's the piece that's also meant to be off as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this. I'm not going to show you about me taking the tape off here and here, but I will make the adjustment and I'll come back because I know we're running out of time. So as promised, there's the adjustment. I did put a little curve on that one in the end. We'll just have to push this down just a little bit more. We've still got that little strip in there as well of the colour. That was not an easy strip to keep. And I'm pretty happy with the way that line sort of lays out as well. So what do we do from here? Well, we're just going to paint all of this now in this new colour, the 366. And then after we'll put another sticker to cover up what we want to keep. Yeah, that'll be along here, and then back this way, putting in that last bit of grey. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we're out of time on this episode now. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and it's finally coming almost together. We're almost up to the very last colour, yeah, hopefully I'll see you on the next one. I'm enjoying this too, by the way. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm enjoying showing you guys as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.